guys, and welcome to Dreaming in Fibre. I am Sarah, your host, and you can find the show notes for today's show at dreaminginfibre.blogspot.co.uk. You can also find the episode will be up at sarastexturecrafts.com, my main website, and on the blog craftsofTexture.com. We are off to Coventry for Plush, and hoping to get there probably about 3-4 o'clock. So I'll show you a bit of setup. I'll do a couple of shout outs a bit later as well. And so today will be a bit of a behind the scenes look at a show from a seller's perspective. So I will catch you a little bit later. Okay, so here we are at the show, and I'm going to show you a setup. And we go over here, over this side is where all of my folky are with all their wool stuff, and then we've got alpacas. Yay, alpaca. And then over that side, that big wall will disappear tomorrow, and we'll have a show ring. So I'm just going to walk you back so you can see us all setting up. Cafe area. And here I am right down the end. My Darren might still be getting some stuff together.
Yeah, probably because of putting this up.
There we go, that's me. I'll show you in a minute when we're all set up. Okay, I've finished setting up. I'll show you more tomorrow in detail, but that's it at the moment. I'll talk through some of the things tomorrow morning when we get in. But I'm off to go get my tea, settle down for the night, find my B&B, find the map to find my B&B. I'll catch you guys in the morrow. Okay, so cheers. I know this isn't the best video ever, but I have to just show you how awesome my B&B is. So let's pan round. Oh my god, fairy princess bed. Isn't it lovely? I hope you can see that. That's the old man in the background there. Say hello, Darren. Hello. Got a fireplace down here. Oh my god. Got a vanity over here. Can you see that? There we go. Like, oh my god. Wow. Sarah's going to sleep well tonight. I want to do a couple of quick shout outs, so let me see if I can put myself on said princess bed and speak to you from bed because eyes knackered. Okay, so shout out number one, I want to say a big hello and thank you to Isabel of Fluffy Fibres. That's the Fluffy Fibres podcast. You should be watching it. She is a wonderful podcaster. She's from Montpellier in France, and so she has a different take on knitting, I think, to my podcast, which is quite nice and refreshing to see other people's, the way they work, and she does a lot of sewing as well, and she makes the most beautiful things. So do go and watch that. You can find her on iTunes and on YouTube as well. iTunes it's audio, and YouTube it's the video version. Recommend both depending on your mode of travel and your preference of podcast viewing stroke listening. But hi Isabel, thanks very much for mentioning me, and a hello to Danny from Little Bobbins as well. You can find her on YouTube, and again she has a really wonderful podcast. She makes some really wonderful things, knitted things, and she does some spinning as well, so you should definitely be watching her. I think that's it. I think setup day went really well. I think I'm going to reach for the iPad, and I'm slowly sinking into this really soft mattress. Eyes are feeling very, very tired. And I'm going to catch you tomorrow, I think, where hopefully I'm going to get some video of some alpaca for you, and maybe a little bit of a look around, because everybody should be set up. So I shall see you in a minute for some more show stuff. Hi guys, so here I am back at HQ. It is April 1st, so happy April Fool's Day. I'm back from the show. I've been back for a couple of days and sort of been catching up on things. So I thought what I would do is give you a kind of a catch up at the end of the show, let you know where I am for the coming month, and you know, keep things short and sweet hopefully today. So you probably kind of feel like I left Plush, or the videoing at Plush, the recording at Plush, a little bit short, and I probably did, kind of not intentionally, but yeah, kind of feeling tired, I think, and probably not a great deal to share on the last day. And that's probably for a couple of reasons. Firstly, thank you to everybody who's been wishing me well since my last podcast. The cough has very almost gone, and I'm very almost back to normal. I'm just left with a couple of niggly things. So if you saw me at Plush, I was complaining terribly about my ribs. I was a little bit concerned at one point that I'd actually broken a rib through all of this coughing, but what actually seems to have happened is that I've pulled a lot of my muscles across the front, around the side and the back of the right hand side of my body through coughing. So I do find coughing, sneezing and standing around on my feet for long periods of time quite painful at the moment. And then the other thing I'm left with is I went to see the doctor about it, and he gave it this name, and I couldn't even begin to remember actually what it was or pronounce it, but essentially I'm left with a feeling of a lump in the base of my throat, although there isn't actually a lump, so it's causing me still to cough a bit and my voice to go in and out. So I apologise if sorry, throughout the rest of the podcast I sound a bit weird or sort of have to swallow a lot. It's because of whatever I've got left that's still going on. I am getting better. I'm feeling much better. So thank you ever so much for everybody who contact me and send me well wishes. Really, really appreciate it. The second reason I guess that I left recording for Plush is that actually it didn't turn out to be the most successful show. I think there was one obvious reason for that, is that there just wasn't the footfall at the show. I think the recorded footfall was probably far more than we actually got to see at our end of the sort of wall specific yarn and fibre and craft side of things, and most people who came through the doors actually were industry people looking at the industry side of the show, which was the alpaca futurity. And I don't know whether that was because the alpaca futurity had a change of venue, so their numbers might have been down, but yeah, I mean, we just didn't have customers. I mean, we spent the majority of time talking to other stallholders. It was hard going for a show that, you know, wasn't essentially that cheap. So I thought at first, oh my God, maybe I've made an absolute boo-boo and I've bought the ridiculously wrong stock for this show. And, you automatically think that if you know that sales are down, but actually when you look round, there was just nobody to buy. It was just dead, unfortunately. I don't know why, one of those things. So, talking to the other stallholders, they're all in the same situation, so I don't feel coming away from it now that was anything that I did particularly wrong. I think there were a couple that broke even and made a little profit, but the rest of us, it was unfortunately a bit of a washout. So I regret to say that I won't be doing it next year if they choose to run the show next year. I don't know that I'm alone in that decision, but that's certainly where I stand with it. So I kind of felt a bit deflated as well, so I wasn't really up to giving you kind of the podcast that I would normally give you, so I thought I'd wait a few days and take the time to kind of come back, get over myself a little bit, and onwards and upwards, right? So yeah, I mean that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. It was a great experience, and the way they'd laid out the stalls and the area and that, I think was great. I think the ideas and the classes they had were great. It just didn't have the people through, and there's nothing you can do if you don't get the people through. You don't get the people through. So with that in mind, I've kind of, sort of spent some time really thinking about the shows that I'm doing going forward. And actually, whilst I was there looking at the stock that I had for the size stall that I had, and then thinking ahead to Wonderwall, which is essentially, after Easter, really only a couple of weeks of production. I think if I'd had a hugely, hugely successful show, I would really, really struggle to get enough stock to make the Wonderwall stall, which is a bigger stall, look full. So, kind of in a in a weird way, it was kind of a blessing in disguise that it wasn't the most successful show in the world, because it means now that I can go to Wonderwall and I've got a good head start on stock, and the stuff that I'm dyeing now is kind of the sort of extras and maybe a couple of new things as well, which is kind of a position you would like to be in before you go to a show. So it means that I'm really going to be paying attention for the rest of the year as to what happens at each show. So ideally how many shows can I feasibly fit in a month, and that's big shows versus small shows, or a mixture of each, because there are some months where I have two fairly big shows, but they're at either end, and the stock I sell at each has been historically quite different. So it'll be interesting this year to see whether there are any changes or whether that remains the same, because if there are changes, then it means I may have to drop one of those shows, just because whilst I was away, I had a really great weekend online and I sold a lot of stuff, and quite a lot of people are moving towards pre-orders, which is a lot of the stock that I have on there in terms of hand dyed. So it means that I have to be really careful about continuing to provide on-time pre-order services, which at the moment are a week turnaround, and also being able to produce for those shows going forward. So it kind of was a bit of a, not a wake-up call, kind of almost a reality check, if you like, for making sure that I continue, or that I can safely continue to maintain good web services as well as good show services, and not kind of be tearing my hair out in between. So with that in mind, actually there are going to be some changes on the website. Now all of these changes are going to be made with you in mind, and also with me in mind in terms of how much I can feasibly do within a day and safely do within a day, for example. So I'm going to be talking about this kind of, it's not really a revamp, it's kind of a reorganisation, if you like, of my work schedule, of the way things look on the website and so on. I want to make my website as user-friendly as possible. I want to make my show stock as new and exciting for you every time, and I want to still have some time to be creative myself, and also kind of be able to feel like I'm sort of moving forward and progressing and enjoying the the good reaction that I'm having from you guys. So the first ones are going to start as from today. I'm going to be working from today onwards, and then every podcast I'll sort of talk about this reorganisation and restructure, if you like, as we go, and it'll all become clear by the end, but bear in mind that it's going to be a lengthy process, but first and foremost, both not only my own sort of sanity will be saved, but also it means that I will actually be able to streamline production, so I'll actually be able to get a little bit more out of me in a kind of safe, non-burnout kind of a way that benefits you at the end of the day. So first up today, I will be looking at the new Royal Mail shipping prices. Yeah, unfortunately it's that time of year where Royal Mail do charge us a little bit extra for the coming year, so I'm going to be looking at that and seeing what deals I can get within the business account offer. I'm also going to be sitting down and working out shipping days. Currently I do Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and sorry, bit of table wobble there. Historically that has kind of worked, but actually now that with the die rotations and things, it's meant that there are certain days where I can't always fulfill as much shipping as I would like or need to, and some have slipped through the cracks and gone to the next day. So for example, Monday's quite a difficult day because it means I have to get up extra early, sometimes 6 o'clock, to start work at 6 to pack orders that have arrived over the weekend, to then run down to the post office before 9 o'clock so I can be back before 9 o'clock to start work and get through emails and stuff so that I can have a full die day on Tuesday. And that hasn't really been working. Well, sorry, I should say not me running down to the post office, but Royal Mail coming to pick up. And the reason why that hasn't been working is because Royal Mail are quite stringent. If it's before 9 o'clock, or say your time's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever, they are there on time. I think they have a 15-minute window either side of that time where they can arrive, but your post has to be ready at that point in time. You cannot, because you have to do online paperwork to sort of pay in advance for them picking it up and for the postage of those items. You can't add in an extra package easily. So particularly on a Monday where I've had heavy footfall on the website at the weekend and I've got lots of orders to ship, it makes it really difficult for me then to get all of that done for Royal Mail to pick up Monday morning at 9, for me to start at 9 o'clock to get everything else done. So it means some things I've had to leave until the Wednesday, which is not really ideal. So what I'm thinking of doing, and I will clarify, this will all be clarified on the website, is actually swapping my shipping days to certainly a Tuesday and then possibly a Friday. So it means that I will get as much as I possibly can out by the end of the week, and nobody's waiting too much longer. The other thing I am doing, which is why I mentioned about running down to the post office, is that I'm actually going to ask Royal Mail to stop picking up from me, and for me to go down to them and drop off my stuff. What that actually means is, previously what's happened is Royal Mail will pick up on set days during the week, and that's it. There are no other pickups. That's the post that you do. So it meant I haven't, say for example, if I've had a club going, I haven't been able to get out an extra bag of post, say for example on a Thursday. It's had to wait an extra day, which is no great shakes in the scheme of things, but when I've got my packages ready, I like to get them out as quickly as possible. So the idea is that when I drop off, it means that I could, if I have a really, really busy day, like after a sale or something, I could fit in an extra post day, because if I drop off, it means that I can essentially drop off any of the 6 days during the week, Monday to Saturday morning. So there's a potential for actually my post to get a bit quicker. It does mean that I'll have to raise the cut-off time from 5 p.m. to 3 p.m. the day before, and then that will give me a chance in the evening to pack up the items, so then everything is bagged and paperwork is done for me to run down to the post depot the next day. So as I say, I haven't really decided what those shipping days will be, but all will be perfectly clear on the website for you at the before order and in the order correspondence emails that I send you. Something else I was meant to say about shipping, I can't think of it. Oh yes, I can. I trialled this dropping off the mail the week before, which is why I got confused a bit earlier. And actually what I noticed is it gave me a lot more time during the day to actually fit in a couple of extra dye pots. So it meant that my dye days were no longer restricted to just Tuesday and Thursday. I might be able to put on a pot on Wednesday or a pot on Friday or something like that. So it actually means that I could potentially, if I squashed up and reorganised my time in other ways, which I'm planning to do, I might actually be able to get an extra dye day out of the week, which would be kind of fab. So yes, there's lots of scope with making that one change. As I say, all of the details of that change will become clear on the website once I've finished up organising that today. So that's the first change. The second change actually is quite a big one for me. For the past, I think, I'm going to say 6, maybe almost 7 years, I've been selling Ashford product. And for the longest time, because the margins on that product were good, I was able to sell under recommended retail price and throw in other offers and so on. And I did okay. However, the margins have now changed to the point where, I think it was last year, I think it was January last year, where I made the decision that I was going to sell at recommended retail price. And as a consequence, it means that now my prices against the big boys of this sort of woolcraft industry here in the UK means that I'm kind of slightly outpriced, and they often chuck in a kilo of wool or something, which is completely impossible for the small business like myself to do. So as a result of that, I've not necessarily lost sales, because actually figures haven't necessarily gone down, but things have been slower to sell because people are shopping around. Budgets are tight, I understand this. And so it means that I guess my potential for year-on-year growth, which I would normally expect within any area of product I sell hasn't actually happened. So I've kind of hit a plateau, and so it means that you know, I have noticed that I've dropped by delay of, I think, about a week, sometimes 2 weeks, depending on the month, my deliveries back. So it meant that anybody who's pre-ordering stuff has had to wait a little bit longer. And then also on top of that, some delivery times that I have been quoted for certain things haven't necessarily come through, and they've been much longer. So here's like the worst example I can give you. But I had a lady who, she was a new customer to me, and she bought a book during, you remember how I had a sale, Boxing Day sale, and I think it ran to New Year if I remember, or it certainly ran for a week anyway. And she ordered this book within the sale and got her 10% discount. And as soon as I got back to work, I had run out of stock of that particular title, so I ordered some more. It was the first day back. I would normally receive that order within a couple of days, so it wouldn't have made too much you know, sort of loss of time for her, delay of time for her. It wasn't in stock, so we had to wait for the next ship to arrive from New Zealand, which was going to arrive at the end of the month. So I explained this and apologised to the customer, and it's always really embarrassing to me when I have to do this, and it's only very occasionally that I have to do it, but it's a big embarrassment to me because it reflects badly on me, being kind of the face of the product for the customer. When that ship arrived, that product wasn't in it, that book wasn't in it, so I had to then wait another month for the next ship to arrive. So by the time it cleared customs and actually got to me, this customer had waited 2.5 months for a book. And that's like my worst example ever. But it's that kind of thing that makes me a little bit scared. and I'm in a position where, as a small business, I just can't hold stock of everything they do. Their catalogue is almost endless these days. Sorry, that's my neighbour with his motorbike. Yeah, so their catalogue is almost endless these days, so it makes life very difficult if I have to order something in and it's not in, because it makes it embarrassing, and it means that, I mean, I didn't have, you know, the customer didn't come back to me and complain or anything like that, but equally, you know, I'm not expecting her to ever return to the website, and it's that kind of thing where I'm relying on a third party to deliver a service on my behalf that I'm kind of worried about, I guess because I can't control it, it makes life difficult, and it makes me want to kind of step back from it a little bit. So I've made the very bold decision that actually I'm going to stop supplying Ashford product for a while. I'm never say never. I'm going to keep my account open, so it may return in the future, but actually for me at the moment, the other thing is, because the yarn and fibre is doing so well for me, I need a bigger area to dedicate to grage stock, which is basically the raw fibre or the Acri yarn that I get in to dye. And because that sells so much faster and margins are higher, although the retail price is much lower in some cases, it makes sense to actually put my financial hat on and be a bit of a business person about it and make this bold business decision, because I know now that I will be able to offer you maybe a couple more fibre bases. I will be able to offer you certainly more limited edition bats, because I'll have the time to card them for you, and I'll be able to offer you some new yarn bases as well, and I'm already trialling some new yarn bases and some new dye techniques. One of those dye techniques is as close to a stripe as I have gotten so far, and that was working within my old dye schedule, but now I think I might be able to get that extra production day, and also, you know, that timing factor comes from not having to deal with this equipment side of the business. It means that I should be able to get more time to you know, produce bats, or, you know, sit there and warp up self-striping maybe. So never say never on that front, but you know, these are all the kind of things that I'm thinking about, and these are all the kind of things that I'm actually being asked for much more over the equipment these days. So yeah, it's a bold decision, and one I have really not taken lightly. I've sat on this probably for about 8 or 9 months now, but yeah, today is the day where I release the details to the world and make it official. So what I'm actually doing is I'm working on what stock I have left, and I'm going to put that on sale for you. So you'll be able to come to my sales section of the website and grab yourself a piece of equipment bargain. I've got bobbins, carders, niddy noddies, that kind of thing, maintenance kits for spinning wheels. I've probably got bits and pieces for looms as well. So check that out, sarastexturecrafts.com. I'll probably have the start of that up by the time this podcast is released. So yay! It's actually from a couple of, well, I guess 3 or 4 days that haven't been the most positive. Actually, a lot of positive stuff has come out of it, and I'm really looking forward to presenting this kind of rejuvenised and reorganised Sara's Texture Crafts. And I think actually it's going to really benefit us, and I think particularly with the release of the ebook for gradient spinning that I mentioned in the last podcast, that you can find on the website, and with the response to that, it has really made me think that actually I think my time is better off spent in other areas at the moment. So these changes are going to directly benefit you. They're going to benefit me as not only as a creative but also as a business. So yeah, I hope you look forward to taking this journey with me. I look forward to sharing it with you. Next month, well, it's April 1st, so it's this month. At the end of the month, I will be at Wonderwall Wales. I'm on stall EU5, so that is the end of the second hall, almost opposite the area where you sit down and eat your lunch. So do come and check me out. There shall be some new things, and I'll have gradients there as well for you. So yeah, come check me out. Looking forward to catching up with you. If I get a chance, I might do another podcast before Wonderwall where I show you, you know, what I've been working on, that kind of thing. Because actually, even though I pulled muscles and not been able to knit as much as I like on those occasions when I have knit, I seem to have got quite a lot done. So, kind of want to catch you up on that, and you know, ask you about what you're making as well. So, anyway, I shall leave you there because I've got lots to do. So wish me luck. I've got lots to get on with today. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're well, and I hope you're enjoying your crafts. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed dreaming in fibre, and I'll catch you later, guys. Cheers.